So what's up there, everybody? If you're a fan of the Blackmagic Pocket 4K and the 6K camera, you probably know that one of the biggest drawbacks of these two cameras is gonna be the power consumption. And in this video, I'm gonna share 5 of my favorite ways to overcome that problem. The first way is actually gonna be the newest way, at least for me. I got this top handle, or at least it looks like a top handle, sent to me from a company called Soonwell. And it actually is a battery, and they've made this battery so you can put this as a top handle on a cage, or actually directly on your camera, because I would be careful with putting too much weight on the screw on top of the Blackmagic Pocket 4K and the 6K camera. But you could, if you would want to use it like that. The company provides you with a couple of accessories, so you could use this as a side handle or put this battery almost wherever you want to, but I've chosen to put mine as a top handle because I often do prefer to have a top handle in my setups. So having a top handle like this and not having to think about batteries is such a cool feature. So now looking at the Soonwell battery or top handle, I'm not sure what to call this. You have a couple of options here. You have 2 D-taps, which is great. You also have 2 DC outs, which also is great, and you also have 1 USB-A, which also is super. So you have so many different ways to power both your camera and your accessories. As you see here, I do have the battery pack cables from Blackmagic, and I'm using the D-tap, so this goes into the side of the handle, and then you just put on the battery and it works perfectly. You also here have an indicator which shows you how much battery life you have left on this handle. So the Soonwell handle comes in 2 different sizes. This is the 70 watt hours, so it's the bigger one. They also make a 50 watt hours, and I'm actually curious to see how big that one is, because I actually feel that the Soonwell, at least this one, is on the bigger side. I almost wish it was smaller, or if they could make this arc a bit narrower to the camera, because I feel that I'm getting almost away from the camera at all. But to be honest, if you're looking for a great solution to power your camera and you still use a top handle, this could be the way to go. They also put screws on both sides of the battery, so if you want to put a monitor on either side, you could do that. And can I recommend the Soonwell? Well, I actually can. I think it is a very good idea. It is like having a VMount battery, but you have it as a handle instead. It is a little bit big, but you will get a lot of battery life from it. How much, I'm not really sure, because I've only had it for 2 days, but these 2 days I've used it quite a lot, and the battery life has been awesome. So my second suggestion for all of you to power your 4K or the 6K camera is gonna be the side handle for Tilta. Here I have the focus side handle. It also comes without the focus. If you've seen a couple of my videos, you probably know that I'm a big fan of this solution. You use it as a left handle, and except from powering your camera, you can also have it as a SSD holder if you have a Samsung T5, and you can also power your Tilta Nucleus Nano if you have one of those, and also you can use the focus knob here to set the focus on your camera. So this is a fantastic solution if you're into that. So my third recommendation is gonna be a solution that I actually haven't seen other people use, but of course there are gonna be people that use this, but it is actually to use an NPF 980D battery. So this is an NP style battery, as you've seen. I've used these a bunch. The only difference between this one, the 980D, to the other ones that I've used before, is that this actually has a DC out. And this is great, because with this DC out you can power your Blackmagic Pocket 4K and 6K camera at the same time as you're powering your monitor. So this solution is more maybe for the people who are already using a monitor with this camera. And if you've seen my videos, you probably know that I'm a big fan of using a monitor with these 2 cameras, because of me always shooting in strange and different angles. So I'm a really big fan of that. So if you are using a monitor, having an NPF 980D battery is such a great solution, and you could actually have quite a minimal setup with a screen, the camera, and you have a power solution for this setup. And to be honest, on the bottom of the NPF 980D, you also have a USB out, so if you want to power something like the Nucleus Nano, you could do that as well. This is probably one of my favorite solutions if I'm going handheld with a really small setup. So my fourth solution is also going to be about NPF batteries, but with this Tilta accessory you can actually use whatever NPF battery you have, and they come in different sizes. Here I have one of the smaller ones, and this is like a middle-sized one. And having a battery plate like this is a killer feature, because on one side you have 12 volts DC out, which lets you power something like your monitors, and on the other side you have 7 volts, which lets you power the camera. So this Tilta accessory is one that I've used a lot, and to be honest, you can put this anywhere you would like to. And my fifth and final recommendation for battery usage is of course going to be VMount batteries. And I'm a big fan of VMount batteries because you can swap them more or less anytime you want, and they come in so many different sizes and flavors, so you can basically power your camera setup for hours and hours and hours. But there are some kinds of different solutions to think about. Now, I've also talked about this before. This is the Tilta VMount battery base plate. A really nice solution that has 2 D taps. It also has 2 DC outputs, one for 12 volts and one for 7 volts. So this is a great solution. Now this particular one is actually made to be used with the Tilta cage, and it's also made to be used beneath the cage. So if you're thinking about having something on the backside of your rigs into 250mm rods, this is not going to be a good option. Something like this is probably going to be a better option. This is a totally normal generic V-mount base plate. Now if you don't want to have a base plate and you just want to have something to set up, this is a V-mount holder from Small Rig, which I've used a lot throughout the years. Now looking at the options when it comes to the actual batteries, there are so many different brands that you could choose from. My new favorite brand is actually going to be FX Lion, because they come in this really small size. This is 50 watt hours, this is 98 watt hours, so you could travel on airplanes with both of these. Both of these have OLED displays, which is such a great feature, so you know more or less where your battery life is going to be. And they do have a D-tap out, which you see, and on the top you have 3 options for USB. You have USB-A, USB micro, and USB-C. The USB-C one is a killer one because you can actually charge your MacBook Pro, and you can also use the MacBook Pro charger to charge the battery itself. So this is my new favorite V-mount, because if you're a filmmaker and you're out shooting in the wild and you don't have access to power, this could be your best friend if you want to edit and have power for your MacBook Pro or any laptop at all. Now these were my 5 favorite ways of powering the 4K and the 6K camera. I would love to know if you have any other solutions. Feel free to write me in the comments or add me on Instagram, where I try to respond as often as fast as I can. And if you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. I would appreciate that a lot. Until next time, see you soon, and bye bye.